Hello, hello. Today we are back with episode 2 of me playing through the Case of the Golden Idol. Last time we completed all of chapter 1, so we got to see the idol get taken from Monkey Paw Island, pass through a couple of people in the family to go to a person by the name of Willard Wright, who then used it to light a man on fire. This time we will get started with the Cursed Inheritance. I expect I'll only get through either Case 4 or maybe also Case 5, depending on how fast I go through this. Either way, let's get started. So, out here we have... lie low for a couple days in the old Ormond's place down at the docks, but he can't read. There's somebody out there. We have a trap door here. We have an empty bed there. Painting as well. And that's a door. Here we have another door. Revenge written on the wall. Let's see. Somebody with a watch and an empty box. We have ourselves a dead man here. Let's see, what do we got going on here? A washing bowl that has a little bit of bloody water. Dear Proud Beastmaster, I have attended our departed brother's send-off and accepted the keepsake that he bestowed upon our brotherhood in his will. I shall send this letter tomorrow, September 10th. I hope it will reach you without delay. Already it is midnight. I will return to my bed, for it has been a long day. May Griffin awaken, proud beast initiate. And what's outside this window? We have a watchman by the name of Henry Parker, who has noticed due to the broken window that there has been a break-in. Although the glass is on the outside. Which, this is one of those classic murder mystery tropes, where this actually means the window was broken from the outside in. Either way, this man is Henry Parker. Okay. Let's go down here, and we have some people with a tab. Robert Redroof, who... I think that, at least if you look at this guy over here, that is the same face. Yeah, as this guy. That's Robert Redroof here. And the Revenge RR on here at least seems to suggest that Robert Redroof is the one who did the murder. But he also can't read, so how would he write Revenge? That's a good question. We have Evan, who performs music, and a person who gambled for something. This man here is definitely has the last name Evans, because he's a musician with that instrument, and he gambled for something. We have a closed door there, so nobody could have gone in to commit the murder. So the murder is either in here or on the two people outside. But I don't know how they would actually get out / in. Let's see. Dear Oscar Boynton, it has come to our attention that the good owner of the Little Mermaid offers services to those who want to transfer products that are less agreeable to the authorities. I will come in 3 days. If you still have some spare space in your gin barrels and are willing to earn extra money, reach out to me. So, considering the fact today is September 9th still, it seems like this hasn't shown up, although this person here is Oscar Boynton then. And he's clearly in some financial trouble if he's kept the letter and is considering to contribute. Let's see, we have 2 people. Someone in the Dandelion room, Willard Wright, and somebody in the Forget-Me-Not room, Ash Blair, for tonight. which room is this? That's the dandelion room. And that's the forget-me-not room, which does make the victim Willard Wright, which one could just kind of guess based off of the fact that it seems somewhat implied that this is the Golden Idol box. Let's see, who do we have here? We have somebody gambling. Remember, you as an agent of our trading company have to reflect its values as follows. Never be late, the client leaves the port on the 10th, be persuasive, do not take no for an answer, we must get the client's product, be effective, once you have the product, deliver it to me immediately with the servant boy. Most importantly, no matter what you do, be mindful of our reputation, our names must remain spotless. So this guy had to get some product from somebody. Either, it seems implied it's either Willard Wright or Ash Blair, because those are the two people that are leaving on the next day. Let's see. Here we have, seems like I'm just keeping track of some rounds of gambling with a lot of names. I will get to that once I've talked to all these people. Let's see. Be calm, John. He was a perfect gentleman. He bought me a drink and then retired upstairs. And here we have a letter to Annie. You are beautiful like a rose. For you to take any blows. Yada yada. So either way, that implies her name is Annie. One of the other two poker players is named John. And of course she has a weapon because everybody has a weapon. So that they could all be suspects. This man S, what does that man have that I lack? Which implies that he would be John asking the question to Annie. So, yeah. And we got all 26 things, so now I just need to figure all this out. Okay, so that means this man here must be Ash Blair. And this guy is someone Evans. Logically, it could be Morris Evans, which, let's see, checks out with up here because somebody with the last name of Evans was gambling with, and has first name starting with an M, Morris Evans, was gambling with Willard Wright. And this is corroborated by something else up here. The fact that he has this watch to somebody named Maurus, which would be his thing that he regretted. So there's that. Let's see, we have Green and Bridge are the other two people. And we have an AG, so we must have somebody with a first name A that has a last name starting with G, which would have to be Annie, which means the other one's John Bridge. So now we have all the names. And due to that, I can immediately figure out this gambling thing. And this tells me Annie Green should be completely innocent, considering that she's been playing the entire time. And John Breeridge would also be completely innocent, based on the fact that he has been here the entire time Willard Wright has not been here. So who all does that leave? Let's see, we have Henry Parker, who I assume it's not, and Robert Redroof, who I also assume it's not. Mainly because the door was locked, so for either of them to get in, they'd have to break through a window, but the window was broken through a glass on the outsides. Additionally, Henry Parker's a watchman, has no motive really to do this, and Robert Redroof doesn't know how to read, so he couldn't have written with a revenge signal. So, let's see, that leaves Ash Blair and Morris Evans. Now, for Morris Evans, his motive for doing this would be to get back the pocket watch, but he didn't take it back. And for Ash Blair, his motive seems to be to get some product, which most likely is the Golden Idol. And based on the fact that the Golden Idol is no longer in this box, which would seem to contain the Golden Idol. Let's see. That would imply that it was Ash Blair, and he could have gotten into this locked room by going through the trapdoor in the ceiling. So, at the end of the day, Ash Blair seems to be the guilty party here. So let's just put in all that information through the trapdoor while... let's see. Andy Green and John Bridge and Oscar Boyton, who were playing cards with favorites, Fensued and Willard Wright got stabbed with a whatever weapon he has. A dagger. There we go. Okay. And based on that, I will do the next one as well. Okay, so yeah, as expected, our Roger Redruth or whatever got blamed, which seems to have been what was intended, and somebody is asking about the death of Willard Wright. Now, we will do this one, and this is the second and last case I will solve this episode, because this one will take a bit longer than all the previous ones, as they, in this game, they typically grow in size each case. So let's see. Be sure to find coats. We have a boy with a cigar, and run to the city and grab me some Ash Blair tobacco and a bottle of gin. I'll pay you when I'm back, David. This implies this is Little Pip, and Ash Blair was a pseudonym in the last case for the person who came and did the crime, which makes sense, considering that he was supposed to hide his reputation. Now here we have 4 overcoats, one of which has a box of cigars, and this one has notes to a person named Miss Richards. I enjoyed your company tremendously when I visited your father last month. I am certain that you would wish to hear the rest of my thoughts on the shortcomings of society. I invite you and your father to a dinner on April 8th at my manor, signed Edmund Cloudsley. And, dear Mary, here's something for your diary for me. For you, I would fight a tiger and win. Peter Batley, March 5th. So, it seems like both of those people from the Inheritance trial a couple chapters ago are into this woman by the name of Mary Richards. Here we have a syringe dropped inside this woman holding a vase. Now here we have a lot of people and a dinner table. I don't think any of this is going to give me any information, but yeah, this is a table with a myriad of different meals and drinks arranged. Let's see. Here we have a woman who says, "How horrible," with a handkerchief. Here we have a different lady who, from the previous trial, I know that she is not somebody by the name of Mary Richards, which would make this woman Mary Richards here. So we will mark her as Mary Richards. Here's Edmund Cloudsley, which I can put in. I mainly recognize him based off of how he looks. This is a mystery band. Here we have this one here is Peter Batley, just based off of how he looked in the previous one. Although to be fair, let's see. I do know who all 5 of the guests are thinking about it, so this is also logically deducible. Let's see. He is the EC, so he'd be Edmund Cloudsley. He says his aunt died, which implies that she must be the other Mary Richards, purely because the guests involved, 4 of the guests I already know, Mary Richards' father must be here, and then the 2 males are Edmund Cloudsley and Peter Batley, which means that, and since they're both interested in one of the women, it wouldn't be the aunt, so it had to be the other one. So there's that. Now here we have a lot of different foods or drinks. And Miss Man. Note to self, if you get frustrated when working, remember the tale about the rich lord who married his donkey and you'll feel better. Ensure that the beautiful lady sits next to me during dinner. I will slip you a shilling from a man named Peter, and he does have a shilling, so he most likely did put Peter Batley next to Mary. By the way, Peter is accusing him of killing the aunt. Now we have another clue in the thinking panel for who sleeps where. Okay. In here we have the golden idol in a safe. Let's see, we have a lot of letters here. Well, Edmund, you seem pretty pleased after the old boy passed away and a spot freed up for you in the House of Lords. Take care of those with whom you ally. I have many friends and will deal with you swiftly if you dare cross me. By a man named George Bridges. Revolution will come for the likes of you. Soon you will pay for your sins against honest common folk with your blood. Let's see. Once again, you failed to answer a requisition. This is the last warning you'll receive. Your transgressions against us have demanded amends. The only course of action you have is to surrender yourself to our justice. Last chance for repentance, serpent. We will unleash one of our stewards upon you, Brotherhood of Masks. And finally, we have Peter Batley doing classic Peter things, but at the same time trying to convince his uncle to stop trying to romance Lady Richards, but at the same time asking for money, because that's Peter as a person. And we have another one. This cannot continue. Since my return and move to Sebastian's Manor, he has asked for financial support 7 times. He clearly is unable to take any monetary responsibility. Please, I need your help, my dear brother. This most likely is referencing whatever his name is, Peter Batley over there, who I should have already marked. And that does give the name for the deceased, Rose Kubert. What's on here? Here's another one. Let's send him to the colonies for his violent nature and make him feel at home. I hear you are having a dinner with Lady Mary and her well-to-do father, Lothar. It would be him. If Peter and I were to join you, we could beguile with tales of adventure in the colonies so we can ship him away. That one's more recent. And then we have Mrs. Baker's starting date, 1787, August 1st, position housemaid. Okay. Let's see, what is in this safe? Due to sensibility of stomach, I advise abstaining from alcohol for the next month. Also consider a glass of peptic tonic before eating to avoid upsetting the digestive system. And there's also a bottle labeled opium in the locked thing with a blue key. And here we have just a couple books. One is a secret code, which maybe I should check some of these letters in the trash for secret codes. On that end, none for the first two. I don't see any secret codes on literally any of those letters. Maybe I have to check for other ones. Remember to take the 4th one from every row. Stack of candles, ink pot, and some money. 4 shillings and a penny. I will not change the rule that the staff member who has worked the longest gets the bottom room. Do not bother me with such nonsense again. Okay, and this person... Once your target has ingested love potion established, eye contact and hold as long as possible. In most cases, the effect will be felt within 2 days, depending on your own appearances. And I guess somebody was trying to make Edmund Cloudsley fall in love with her. Let's see. Reserve lockpicks, Ash Blair, a pistol, a dagger, and David, clean up the barn until Wednesday. I plan to continue experimenting with the artifact for a person named David. And here we have some fake keys for the top room up here. And here at the bottommost room. Dear Diary, this has been an ordinary day, so I'm mostly in preparation for tomorrow's dinner event. I do believe the time has come to for me to ask for a raise in salary after all these years I've loyally worked here. It's a difficult conversation to be had, but I will strike my blow time. So answer about tomorrow. An ink pot, £1, 2 shillings. And another book. Underneath here he has some paint. And an anti-noble poster, presumably. Over here we have a couple things. 2 Monkey Man posters. Bottle of another liquid, a small key. A second small key. There's a door to outside. Inside this door we just have some food. Let's see. I can give you some candles for your room, Lucia. And we have Ada here. Dear Ada, I have used this letter to share some good news. There is no substance to your claims that your late husband used his position to squander church money. The judges decided to remove all accusations that you will be no longer treated as target of baseless gossip. I truly and sincerely hope this will provide some comfort in these dark times when ignorance and opinions go in hand. May our Lord Steward over our souls. So she is Ada, and then she must be Lucia. Let's see. The dinner party will take place April 8th. Everything should be ready before noon. Prepare roasted boar. Young Miss Richards does not appear to enjoy meat, therefore prepare some alternative side dish. So one of the 3 spots that has no meat must belong to Mary. And let's see. I do hope her master's guests are satisfied, and Brian served everything as instructed, so he is Brian. Let's see, Mrs. Smith. 2 eggs and a pot of tea each breakfast. No heavy food for dinner. You're responsible for little Pip doing his errands. Mrs. Walker, or Mr. Walker. I am to be woken up and dressed at 7 a.m., so that would be Brian. I expect to receive my daily newspaper at noon. Mrs. Baker. I expect all my rooms to be cleaned every day, twice on days when I have visitors. NB. David Grant's job requires I may arrive or leave during the night. No complaining about this. Okay, so let's see. Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Baker. Mrs. Baker is currently doing Ada is currently doing cleaning, which would imply that she is Ada Baker. And that the other one is Lucia Smith, who makes sense considering she was also had the note about cooking as well. And then here, to Mrs. Smith for 3 years of service. And one last cabinet in here that has wine and brandy with the heart-shaped lock. Let's see, okay, so then Mrs. Smith has 3 years of experience. Lucia Smith. Let's see. Mrs. Baker started in 1787 on August 1st. What time is it currently? 1788, so she has less time than Smith, so she can't be the bottom spot. Additionally, let's see. This is the one with all the candles in it, actually, which just means that that's her room because of all the candles. And Ada Baker was talking about she could give some candles to Smith so Mrs. Smith could read a lascivious novel, which would be this one here, because I'm pretty sure the other 2 rooms don't have anything like that. Yeah, that was just cigarettes and gun stuff. And that one is for a man by the name of David, which would be David Garan. And that makes the bottom room here either Little Pip or Brian Walker. However, let's see. He has to do things for tomorrow's dinner event. So this is going to be Brian Walker, and Little Pip is in the ceiling, which seems about right. Considering this appears to be, yeah, okay. Here's Little Pip again, who, let's see, Little Pip was gone as this thing happened. Let's see. Let's look at this note again. Due to sensitivity of your stomach, I advise from abstaining alcohol. What was the other part? Also, consider a glass of peptic tonic before eating. So let's look at this table here. There are 2 spots of peptic tonic. Only one of them doesn't have any alcohol as well, so that must be Edmund Cloudsley. Let's see. One of these 2 spots here has to be for Mary Richards. Okay. It's poison. Nobody touch a thing and nobody move. I'll send for a doctor right away. Okay, so something was poisoned and only, what's her name? Only Rose Kubert had it, which means it can't be the wine. So it either has to be this yellow drink here. I guess it can also be the gray drink because Edmund didn't drink any of it. So it's one of these 2. And sorry about that. I ran out of storage space on my computer, so I've just opened up some and I'm going to continue on with this. By the way, I was wrong. That's a partially smoked cigar. That's not even a side dish. So, let's see. Somebody is smoking cigars, and I don't believe it would be the lady, Mary Richards. I'm trying to see if there's any evidence for that in anybody. I do not think there is actually any evidence of that. So maybe I'll go downstairs and check these overcoats. One of them has a box of cigars, and this one over here, I believe, would be Rose's due to it having the hat with the bow in it, which would imply that one of the 2 male guests was smoking the cigar, and therefore not Mary Richards. Either way, Mary Richards one doesn't have the cigar in it anyways, so Mary must be up here, which means that Rose Kubert must have drinking the gray substance. So in fact, Brian Walker was paid. We earlier had concluded Peter Batley must be next to him, so Lothar Richards must have had the cigar. Okay. So, let's see. What does this tell us? The peptic tonic was what killed her. However, I believe, wasn't Edmund Cloudsley supposed to be drinking peptic tonic? Yeah. So, my guess would be that this was targeted at Edmund Cloudsley. So let's look at this key here. So, the only people who could tamper with the tonic are people who had this kind of key here, which could be Brian. Who else could it be? That room. Are there any of those fake keys in here? Yes. So, Ada Baker could have done it. Lil Pip has a copy of the key, but he was... Is that... No, that's not even a copy of the right key, just kidding. Lil Pip has random keys copied. She has nothing. Okay. So we have really 2 suspects at all. Either way, I can mark that... Who ingested it? Rose Kubert. Somebody wanted Edmund Cloudsley dead and thus poisoned the tonic and hid the necessary key in either pocket or bag. Still need to figure out who actually did the killing out of these two people. We have the butler. Okay, let's see. The butler, he said he would talk to Master about it tomorrow. Which, I don't think he would have had time to actually poison the thing afterwards, although, in order for me to make that kind of conclusion, I would need to find some motive for her, Ada. I'm still trying to figure out what that coded thing is applying for. Where's the book on secret codes? Such trivial ciphers as reading only the first word of every line are easily produced, but extremely unsafe and easy to decode. Maybe it's a more complicated secret code. Because, yeah. Okay, let's see. Who would even want to kill him, actually? There's one about the House of Lords that showed up 6 days ago. That one seems a bit early. A revolution will come for the likes of you. You good bastard. And they were going to unleash a steward on them. Peter Batley had nothing to do with it. So really it's either the final Vanguard thing, which would link up with the butler, who is anti-rich, or it would have something to do with the Brotherhood of Masks. Does she have anything else up here? Remember to take the 4-for-1 from every row. I don't actually know what that's... What's that for? The 4-for-1 from every row. Remember to take the 4-for-1 from every row. Oh, 4-for-1 from every row. Let's do this. Use substance to remove target. Sincerely dark. Hand steward. Okay. So, there we go. That's actually something. And that's from a steward, so it would be the Brotherhood of Masks. And in that case, I actually have something to lock into one of the two. So we will lock in on her. Let's see, who wanted her dead? The Dark Hand Steward. There we go. And okay, with that, we will return to scenario selection, but that's going to be it for today. next time we will do case 6 and realistically probably case 7 as well, because I don't remember case 6 being all that long. But yeah, I will see y'all next time, so bye.